Hello and welcome to the Photography Live Show. Today we've got a special one for you. How to take great pictures of your dog. Only on the Photography Live Show. So today's episode is going to be focused mainly around photography. And the last episode we looked at product photography. So I thought this time we'll make it a bit more wider and look at pet photography. So I've got two scenarios today that I'm going to show you. And those scenarios are going to be me shooting out live. One was done on a Wednesday and one was done yesterday. So we pre-recorded the sessions to make sure it goes smoothly and you can see the tips. So we're going to give you some amazing tips to take pictures of your pet. I was using a DSLR camera and there's different ways you can get really cool shots. So you can see in my background, we have Max, and that's one of the shots we took. You probably can't see him clearly, it's probably blurry, but it'll give you an idea. If you've seen the thumbnail of this video, you'll also see that. This show has been made for replay purposes, so if you make sure to check out the description, there'll be chapter breakdowns of the video and different elements. So if you're interested in tips of just the photography bit, you can click on that and see how that works out. So Tony in the house, keeping everything shot. And hello everybody in chat, thanks for joining. It's great to always have you on. Quick message from our sponsor before we continue. This show has been made possible by DSTE Technologies. We have a link in the description for you to be able to pick up your batteries. The link is for the Canon range of cameras. However, if you follow the link and go to DSTE's manufacturer Amazon shop, you can actually find a battery for your camera. So that's going to be a good price and a reliable battery for you and your camera. So that was a quick look at that message. So in photography, it's very important to have batteries. As you know, Tony, we did a shoot and some of the batteries weren't as great. We had some rechargeable batteries. So that link in the description is basically for you to get a battery for your camera at a good price. And they sponsored this episode today. So I think it's time we look at the first element. So hello BS, hello Tony, Victoria, hi everybody in chat, great job. What I'll do is I'll show you this shoot. This first shoot was done in a park and we had some parks are available to most people, so I'm hoping that you can get a similar shoot if you're planning to take your pet out. There's loads of pets I've seen that people have had dogs, they've had reptiles on leashes, they've had cats on leashes, Savannah cats, all sorts of stuff. So if you have some interesting pets, make sure to let me know in the comments what types of pets you do have, and let's look at this first shoot. Hello and welcome to this video. In this section we're going to be talking about how to get great photos of your pets. Today we have Max and I'm going to use different lenses and see how we can get some amazing shots. So before we begin, I'm going to give you a few tips and let you know how to get the best from your pet. In this case, it's a dog. So what you want to do is make sure you let them explore. So before you get shooting, you can see here now, I'm just letting him get comfortable with the atmosphere. It's a park. I'll let him sniff around, check out everything he needs to check out. So this stops him being distracted in the middle of the shoot. Ideally, if you've been on a walk, that way he gets rid of all his excess energy. And you can see here, he's kind of doing all he needs to do until he's fully committed to the shoot. So Max is very good. We've had him for a long time and he's very obedient, as you'll see throughout the shoot. He's well, he pays attention and he's a bit better than a model, to be honest, because you can shout at him and he does what you tell him to do. So yes, he's a mixed breed dog. Do let me know in the comments if you can guess his breed. It's the breed that tries its luck and tries to get away with a lot of mischief. So you can see here, he's got his basic commands down to a T. So now I've got my 5D Mark II with a 70 to 200 lens. And you can see the photos pop up on screen as I take them. It's good to pay attention to a number of things in these types of shoots. The first few photos there are exactly as shot on the day. I like to take a few test shots to see how the atmosphere performs, how the clouds are performing. Luckily, we were in a shaded area. So the main thing to do is relax. So while you're shooting, you need to be relaxed, which allows your pet to be relaxed. And that allows you to get some decent shots. So right now it's just a leading path to into the park, and that's what we're concentrating at the moment. He's doing a nice sit stay, looking back, looking forwards, looking around. What you want to do is try and focus on his eyes and expression where possible. So you'll see throughout this, I'm going to pop up some photos as they are taken, and they'll give you a lot of perspective in terms of what to look for. So with a lens of this type, you can look at the settings you're changing. The aperture will have a big effect on how much background blur there is, how far away any obstacles are in the background. Try and get rid of as much clutter as possible. So you can see there, that's a nice blurry background. There's not many distractions in the background, which is a great start. He does what he wants to do sometimes, so he kind of walks away, so you have to be patient. Try and shoot in their world. Right now we're in a park, but we'll show you a few more examples of where is a good environment. So here another few shots just to give you an idea of his perspective. And be flexible, do some stretching first, because you will need to get a few different positions to get the right shot. You can see right now I'm kneeling down to get to the same level as him, and go to where the best light is. So we're outdoors, as a natural environment, it's fairly well lit overall, so that gives you an idea of the types of shots there. These are all basic shots. So right now we're getting warmed up, he's walking away, we're getting the atmosphere. Make sure you pay your models, so keep some treats on hand. Luckily Max is more obedient and he's done his initial positive reinforcement training, so he's very good on command. He's a really great dog, to be honest. You'll love him if you had him. Create a concept and a shoot list, so keep an idea of the types of photos you want. Ideally my requirement was to get one nice thumbnail image where we're basically looking up at Max and he's relaxed in like a grassy environment with maybe a tree over his head. So that's the aim of the game. This is all kind of letting him do his thing and doing a few shots. We might get a few shots of him running around as well, towards the camera, away from the camera. Try and be quiet and avoid making any loud noises. Let's do a quick lens change, I think. So right now we're going to do a lens change, which means I'm transferring over to a 24-70, which is a wide lens. So this also gives you an idea of how different lenses perform. And you can see Max keeping an eye out and keeping us protected. So here's our 5D Mark II 24-70. And we're just going to get a few shots in with this. And you can see here, this is all handheld and you want to experiment with a few different angles. So you can see I'm getting down low, which kind of helps in this scenario. Move slowly, so you don't want to do any sudden movements because that will excite the dog and then he'll get into playful mood. If you're looking for that, then that's fine. But if not, then yeah, it's something to keep an eye on. So you'll see a few more wide angle shots and you'll see how that affects the image. So from the 70 to 200, this 24-70 is a wider lens. So you can see here, we can see more of the surroundings and he looks a bit more, not stretched, but there's a different feel to how he looks right now with this wider focal length. So it's kind of extending out around him. There's not as much focus, I don't think, on him. However, the image that I'm going for, I think it might have to be a wide angle shot to make sure I get everything I need to get in. You will need to be patient, so don't get angry, don't, just have a little break every now and again. Luckily our Max is very good. You can see here, these are all clips shot. He was rarely misbehaving. Every now and again he heard a noise, so he kind of looked around, which gave us a positive because his ears perked up, and you can see a few shots to get those perky ears. You'll know your pet better than anybody else, so make sure you're keeping him on leash if you need to, and that's the rule in the area. Luckily Max is very good off leash, so I've taken off all his leash and collars and everything, so I can get his full colors in this pictures. And you can see here's a wider shot. The sky is all blown out. He's a darker dog, so it can be harder to get the blacks of darker dogs showing nicely. You can use props if he likes his toys. You can use sticks and things. So here I give him a command to run and he's gone. And then I'll give him a call back, and when he comes back you'll see these shots are more of him in active pursuit, so he's kind of jumping about. This shot here was really nice, but it would have been good if he was looking towards me at the time. But yeah, we did a quick fun shoot. It wasn't too intense, and I'm just giving you an idea of what can be done to get some great shots. It doesn't have to be a DSLR camera either. You can use your mobile phone. Just think about the shutter speed, and that's going to be your main friend. Praise your dog. Make sure you're encouraging him that he's doing a great job. Pay attention to the eyes. You want to focus on the eyes. A lot of interaction with the pet, and you will have a fun time. It's always great taking Max out for a shoot. We get some amazing photos, And yeah, I'm hoping these kind of little tips I'm giving you are going to be helpful. You could even do this in a studio environment, but I wanted to get a natural feel of the day and give you an idea of that. You can have another lens change maybe. So what we'll do now is get a 100mm macro lens. This is a prime lens, so this will give you another feel of how it looks, the images, and how you can actually get different types of shots. So this 100mm I think is a great portrait lens, and you'll see here I'm quite far away, so I'm not intruding on his spade. I can get some natural shots of him, and he's having a little sniff off the grass there. I'm standing up and letting him do his thing further away, and because it's 100mm on a full frame body, it's doing quite nicely for sharp photos. There you can see again 2.8 that was shot at, and we're getting some beautiful shots again, similar to the 70 to 200 lens. It depends on what type of lens you have. Make sure you're changing perspectives all the time. So do landscape, portrait, have a look around if there's any more areas. Really like this entrance, leading lines. Get down low so you can see there's a bit of a Dutch angle, a bit slanty shanty. And it's nice to have other things in the shot if you want to. So look around what is there, if there's any striking features of your location. We'll do a bit of fun now. So there's a quick break here because he did really well. A bit of fetch and a bit of throwing of sticks to let him know he's doing a great job. And there you can see he's a perfect obedient dog. Prefer him over any model any day. And he'd give us some great shots. So I'll put some of these photos up and you can have a closer look at them. And yeah, just make sure you're playing with your dog. Be happy. That's the main aim of the game. You want him to be smart and playful. Give him a quick little rub. Get rid of anything on his coat from when he's running around, because grass will stick. As you can see, I use a holster which kind of lets me use my hands free and take shots as needed. And the 100mm is very lightweight, so you won't feel it at the end of the day if you got a long shoot. A few more shots here, and then I'll show you my favorite, which is the one that I was aiming for, and slowly we worked towards it. So there, we're getting there. That colors look beautiful there. You can see the dark grays and the light grays and also the blacks. So now we're getting him in the position that we want to get him in. So he's getting close. I'm going to ask him to sit down, get lower down. I'm going to lie on the floor. So slowly we're getting there. I can see the tree behind him, which is kind of giving us some leading lines. He's looking around, but we'll get to a point where he will. There we go. So see, this is a shot we were looking for there. But we'll do a few more, and I think something like the next one here. You can see I'm getting really close to the ground. What would have been good is some water shots. That was a nice shot, but obviously it's blurry. That's what will happen if you don't have an articulating screen. However, we are getting closer. There we go. That is my shot that I really liked, and we're gonna use some of these in the thumbnails. Make sure you're not afraid to get down low. You can get your clothes dirty, but that's fine. Keep an eye on the background. You don't want anything to be too distracting. Dust yourself off and try again. There was a nice shot where he was trying to get up and run away. Natural light is really beautiful as well. So as he was going past me with the macro lens, it lets you take really close-up shots. So you'll see there's some nice close-ups of his face as well. So there's beautiful shot of his eye. And yep, I liked the shoot. It was a really nice shoot. We've got a few more photos here I'll show you. And make the sessions fun, like I say. And make sure you're using your focus correctly, because that can be tricky. But yeah, there was a nice little shoot there. So I think we enjoyed that, and it was a nice session. Just had my low pro bag this time, which is what I was using. And then I went back to my 24-70, because remember we wanted a wide angle shot, and that was a shot I was looking for. His ears perked up would have been a bit better, but yeah, he wanted to go away. So perfect day, perfect shoot. And we had a bit of fun, and enjoy it. Remember, it's all fun. Your pet will enjoy it because he's getting attention as well. That was our quick shoot from the other day, so I'm hoping you found that helpful. I gave a lot of tips in that little video clip, and I thought it'd be good to share it as part of this live show, because it's basically showing you in action how to take great photos. So it's a number of different things you can do there. What I'll do is I'll show you the photos themselves. So if I show you, there we go. So this is the Lightroom catalog of the day. You can see it was on a Wednesday. That's 2 days ago. We shot it running up to this live show, so we can show it to you and look at the photographs. So it was all on a 5D Mark II body, and there was 3 different lenses. So we use a 24-70 lens, which is the wide to mid telephoto lens. 78 photos we took. We took 20 photos on the 70-200. The reason we took less photos on the 70-200 is the shots came out a lot more beautiful. So if I show you this example here, look at that. So this will give you an idea of once you've taken the photo, there's a lot of stuff you can do behind the scenes. We shot on the day in a RAW format. And those formats allow you to bring some detail back. You'll notice in that clip, some photos were a bit brighter, some were a bit darker. That was purposely done, because what you want to do is on the day, if you shoot a little underexposed, which basically means a bit darker, later on you can bring some of that detail back. So if I show you this, and if I develop this photo now, he's a bit tad dark there, you can see, but watch this now. If I bring up the exposure a little bit, see that? You should see that instantly, hopefully. And then a bit of recovery. Let's bring a bit more back. There we go. And then a bit more down on the blacks. A bit of fill light. So now the background is really nice and blurry. He's quite sharp. If I zoom in on his eyes, you can see we can add a bit of clarity to that and make it even a bit more better. Edit My RAW is a lot better at this. So what I will do is I'll put these photos as part of that. So actually, let me show you this. So that's where I've got it. But if I reset it, watch. That's where it was. So see, because we shot a bit darker, we had that option to bring some of those colors back. So it's not always lost if you're shooting in RAW. You have enough detail there to get that image back. So if I go back to the library and show you, that was a 70-200 lens. But if I bring the details back by doing this, yeah, so that was the telephoto lens, and that one was taken at 200mm. So that was a picture where I was really far away. So the further away you are from the subject, if you zoom in, it makes it look more natural, and it also makes it a slimming effect because you're not so close to the person. Whereas if I show you the 24-70, the opposite scale, because it's a wider lens, make sure to say hi in chat also. It's great to have you guys on. Thank you. You've been making me laugh during the clips, so it's great to get your comments. Okay, so if I show you an example of the 24-70, let's get one up. Okay, here's a decent one. Okay, he's looking at me there, so let's try that one. So there you see how much more of the scene we're getting. So the telephoto was concentrating on him, but now we've got more of the scene. So if I do the same thing again and do develop, this one is taken at 70mm, so it wasn't at the widest point. So I'm gonna use that. Actually, let me use one of the wide ones. Let's see if I've got my 24mm will probably be one of these. Let's try that. Oh, that's 62mm. Even that isn't the widest. I'm sure I took some. Let me get one up. That's 70. That's 24. Okay, so that might be a good example. Let me see if this one. That's 70. Okay, so let's grab this one. So see, that one is taken at 24, but see how much of the stuff behind him is still visible. Whereas the one we saw on the 70-200, it blurred it out nicely. So here again, we shot slightly underexposed, which means he's a bit darker. Because he's got multiple layers in his skin, if I do develop again, just to show you how much detail we can bring back, knock up the exposure, a little bit of recovery, a bit of fill light, and look at that. Bring some blacks back in, and then a bit of clarity. I don't do much editing on these. I basically bring out, see that nice bit there? He normally has his color on, so we took his color off, and that allowed us to get that. So yeah, beautiful shots, and this would be a nice one for Instagram. If I do a 1:1 crop, let me show you. See, look, just maybe there. If I do done, so there you go, nice shot for Instagram there. And he's got a nice detail in the face. You can even see the saliva coming out of his mouth. Max is a bad boy. Okay, so that was a 24-70. Now let me quickly show you the 100mm, because we basically used 3 lenses in that shoot you just saw. If you're just joining us, hello, and make sure to check out the description. There will be chapters to all of these segments of the show, and make sure to comment and let me know what breed you think Max is. Okay, so the last one, we took 23 photos with the 100mm macro lens. So this one is a bit nicer. Let me show you these. This is like a go between. It's not 24mm and it's not 200mm. It's like in between because it's 100. So let's see, the background still nice and blurry, but I like this feel. It's meant to be a macro lens. However, look, let me bring some detail back. So if I do develop, the basic stuff I don't do anything fancy. A bit of exposure, a bit of fill light, knock down that, a bit of clarity, a bit more fill light. Okay, so now look, see, nice sharp detail, beautiful shot. So that's another one there. So macro lens, the best thing about the macro lens is, watch these photos, as max gets closer you can actually get quite detailed shots. So let me show you one of the, look, that one of my favorite ones is taken on the 100mm macro because it's lighter, it's easier to move about. Let me just make sure I can show you another one. Okay, here. So these ones are really good. So as he walked past me, because I had the 100mm, let me do develop on this. Let's make a bit exposure, not too much, because you can see the sky's kind of, let's get a bit of sky back, a little bit of fill light, a bit of black, a little bit of clarity. And look, because that's a macro lens, look at that, I can see his hairs on his eyes, his teeth, his tongue. He's got a nice little black spot on his tongue as well. So that's like a bit of a close shot. So that's the benefit of having a 100mm macro. You can use it for portrait shots as well. And next up, let me just check. Okay, so next up, I'm going to show you another segment because we did 2 shoots. Hello to everybody in chat. Great to have you on. Always a pleasure. I'm seeing some activity, so it's great to see you guys there. Let me know how things are going. It's always great to hear from you. So this show has mainly been dedicated to taking photos of your dog. Let me know if you'd like me to do any other specific shoots dedicated to animals, because I know a lot of people want to take nice photos for their dogs. It's like a memorable thing to have loads of photos as they grow. The next one I'll show you is of a cityscape. So we went to an environment where it was a bit more open and a bit like dusty, because Max has a Mad Max feel about him. We gave him a pouch. So if I play you that segment next, then what we'll do is once that segment's played, we'll look at those photos and we'll give you a bit of talking and explaining of like the composure and why things were done a certain way. Okay, in this video I'm going to basically take you along with the journey. So right now we're in a location which is a derelict spot, and I've got my camera with me. Nothing fancy this time. On the last shoot I did all of the lenses to show you the different feel. But this one is a 24-70, which lets us do a wide shot and a zoomed in shot and a 5D Mark II body. So now we're going to basically, I'm going to speak to you and give you the thinking behind what I'm doing. So if we focus on me and zoom out a bit so you can see a bit more of the location I'm in, this will give you an idea. So right now we are in this, well, it used to be an old college and they've broken it down. So it looks like a bit of a Mad Max kind of deserty feel about it. Behind me there's some scenery of the town which looks quite nice. So I'm thinking of using this spot here. Max, come here! I'm going to get Max and he should be our subject, and you'll see we have kitted Max out today. Come here Max, come on! Come here. He is wearing his bags. Hey, sit! And I'm also wearing my holster, so you can see in scenarios like this is actually brilliant. So let me make him face you so you can see him. Come here Max, come here. Here, sit. Do you want a drink? Sit. Make sure to look after your talent. So Max is very good because he drinks and carries his own drinks. So if he gets thirsty, we can make sure he's fully sorted out. So let's give him a little bit of a drink there, get a nice close-up of him having a little splurter. So in this scenario here, we've let him loose for a bit to run around to see what he wants to do, explore the location, which lets him kind of get tired basically. That's it. Okay, so we'll leave that bowl there, so if he needs water he can come back and get some more. Let's put this back in here. So we have this little bag on him which will give him that feel of like kind of explorer out and about. If I get rid of this here, collar's going in here. So now, sit Max, sit, and wait please. Okay, so Max is very good. He's like no other model that you'll ever want or need, because he will do what you want him to do. He won't chitter chatter back at you. And okay, so right now let me do a quick, I'm going to show you all these pictures on screen as I take them, so you see exactly what's going on. So right now I haven't taken a photo. I'm basically using the in-camera function. So if you're quite new to photography, I'll show you this possibly. I don't know if you can see it. Come on here. So behind this screen here, let me know if you can see this here. Does that show up on screen okay? Maybe you need to zoom in a bit if it's blurry. Is that okay? Okay. So in the middle here is a little meter, light meter. So when I half click the button, you'll see a little dot up here. Now you can see that dot is right in the middle, which means it's not too dark and it's not too bright. I'm on 250 shutter speed. I'm on f-stop 5 aperture and I'm on 100 ISO. So before I've even taken a photo, I know if I take a photo now, that'll come out well exposed for the ground, because that's what we metered on. So now I'll show you that picture as the first picture in the video. But as soon as I point upwards, you'll see it's gone all the way over here, because now it's pointing to the sky, which means it's too bright. So I bring the aperture up and that comes down. So see how that's come down. But now what will happen is if I take a picture of that, the sky will be nicely exposed, but you'll see everything else is dark. So that's our starting point. We'll go back to where we were, and we're going to find a mid-balance, because we want both the sky and the foreground reasonably visible, which means not too dark, not too bright. We're shooting in RAW. Max, come here! We're shooting in RAW, which means we can take some detail back out as well. So we're not totally losing the shots. Come on! Good boy, come on, come on. So now it's time to do a few test shots. We have basically taken 2 shots without Max present. But what I like to do is normally I will find a spot, take a photo and make sure all the scenery looks good, and then I'll ask Max to sit in the picture. His name's Mash today. We're going to call him Mash just for the sake of it. Mash, come on. Okay, so right now we've changed the camera angle to show you my thought process about where we're taking a picture. So where I'm standing now, there's a roundabout and a bit of a road there. There's some nice clouds, there's a lot of greenery and a bit of deserty area there. But if we move over here slightly, you'll see that building maybe behind the trees, which is the new college. The old college used to be on this spot. So that's another perspective that we can look at. However, if we fully spin around and you point that way, we can get like a bit of a jungly feel, like a bit of a, because now here everything's green. So it's like trees and like building up slowly. So we've got mid trees and high trees. So when we take the picture, we'll have max foreground interest, we'll have the midground with the bushes, and then we'll have the trees in the back. And then if we do a full 360 that way, we've got a cityscape, urban cityscape, and that cityscape will be just up on the back here. So all of that cityscape in the back. So that's kind of 3 different shots that we'll probably get. And if we wanted to get like a bit of a building site feel, so I'm another drink. We've got this little bit here, the bank of bricks. So now we'll position in a way where we're taking the first shot. Okay, so you're getting a bit of a side view now to see what I'm going to be shooting. So if I do this is a 24-70, so I'll do a 24mm shot from where I'm standing. And then I'll zoom all the way in to 70mm. I'll do the same shot again. That shows you the range we've got to play with. Now I'm going to bend down and show you how that different feel is. You use the focusing points and you can half click to focus and then reposition the shot, because with the old 5D Mark II we don't have as many focus points, there's only 9 I think. So that looks good. My mic panel behind me is not in the best place, so I'll readjust that and that's better. Max, come here. So I've taken that shot, I know where I want to place Max. We have a food drink bowl here. Come here, Max. Come on. Normally he's not as food obsessed, but if you have a pet who likes food, you can get treats. Come here, Max. Come on. Come here. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Wait. Stay. So I'm going to back up to where I was. Stay. And now we'll do a little compose and recompose shot. Okay, that's number 1. Leave it. I'm hearing some more activity, so I'll just make sure there's no dogs about. Because Max is fine with people, but if he sees dogs, he want to protect us and go mad and attack them and mold them up like. What's another, Tony? What's another? Okay, so we're not in the podcast now, so I can't talk to Tony. Okay, so our cameraman doing a great job today. Second time we're here, doing a
A beautiful shit. He knows what I'm talking about. Okay, Max. 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 Okay, so he's getting up. Good. You're doing a bit of a walk towards us. Okay, I've taken a few shots there. That's not bad. The ball is in the way. I need to recompose so I don't get the building because I'm getting the red bricks over there. You'll see these on screen hopefully as I'm doing them. Okay, so if I reposition, it's all raw, mate, all raw today, no editing or anything. Okay, now that looks better here. Max, come here. So now we'll get him to sit in another spot. Max, come on. I won't do too many of these. I'll show you a few examples, but it'll give you an idea of what we're doing. Come on, Max, come here. Come here. You have to be very firm with him because Max is the breed that tries his luck every time. Come here, Max. From the photos, see if you can tell me what breed he is in the comments below. Here, come here, Max. Okay, go and have a drink. He's a mix of two dogs, and it'll be interesting if you can tell me what breed he is. Max, come here. Hey, come here. Foos. Foos. Sit. Good boy. Wait. Wait. He's in a good position there. Let me see if I can whack him before he moves. Wait. So I'm going to focus, reposition, wait for him to look at me, just like he's done there. Focus, reposition. A lot of background. I might get a bit closer to him to get like a nice shot. Wait. You might have to get lower, Max. Okay, I'll show you an example of wide open against not wide open. Sit, sit. Wait. So he's offering us, without asking him, he's offering us different positions, so he's kind of sat out of the way now. Oh, here we go. This is the fully wide position. So now, you know what I'll do? Wait, sit, sit, and wait. Let me see if I can use this tree and do a bit of like a paparazzi shot through the trees, because that will add nice blur. Okay, that was a few shots this way. I'm going to show you all of these raw, unedited, and then we'll do a bit of editing on them. So we've got a few nice shots there. Now we'll change position and do this, the foresty type shoot. Okay, sit, 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 and wait. Look, wait. So now I'm going to do a 2.8 because I know there's more trees here and there's not as much. You might have to come around if you want to see me doing the shot. So do a nice smooth round. Yep. So I'm going to zoom right in. I'm going to go 2.8. This side is a lot darker, so I can tell straight away. And he gets up as soon as I take a shot. Okay. You okay? Oh, come on, come on, come on. One more. We'll do a couple of shots here. Give me a good old shake. Come here, Max. Come here. I have to be very firm, otherwise he'll think I'm joking. Come here. Like he's a bad boy. Sit. Wait. Good boy. Wait. Wait. Max is very obedient, so we're lucky he's not like most models where he just does what he wants to do. Hey. Sometimes you have to expose for the background because Max is dark. So if you always expose for Max, taking a few shots there because it's starting to rain. So yeah, if you're exposing on a dark animal or anything dark, so say for example in this picture you have to focus on my black jacket. When we're using that system I showed you earlier, the camera will think that's black, so I need to make that brighter. It tries to compensate and makes that brighter, but then everything else seems bright as well. So sometimes you might not want to concentrate on the one black thing in the photo. Concentrate on a mid-tone. So I normally use like a bush or a tree, and I use that as a midpoint. I'll show you two photos where that is a good example. So if you're using that middle metering mode system, These two photos you should see now will show you the difference of metering on the black dog versus metering on the tree behind him. And the tree behind him makes everything more equal as opposed to really bright. So that's a quick look at that. Might be too bright actually, but we'll knock up to 500 shutter speed. Hey! Okay, so now we're in that other area, which is the building behind us. We don't always want him sitting down, but that is too bright, so we're gonna have to go to f4. So now I want to get a wide with max. I'm kneeling down on the floor. I want to get the background in as well. So now I'm on 24 millimeters. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. He's looking the other way now. Max. Some of these won't be great because I'm just a nice close one. Okay, that's a nice portrait style one there. I haven't done any. I've all done landscape. We'll try a portrait. I'll show you these and see what you think. Okay, that's a bit blown out. Let's try one more. Okay, so I'm really close. Let me get a bit further back. So what we'll do now is I want a really low aperture. So I'm going at 2.8, which means I'll have to go at a really high shutter speed, which is okay. So right now that one was 1000 at 2.8. So let's see what Max. Sit. Should take one, do one of these bag off. Come on, sit please. Hey, sit. Wait. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back and zoom into him. Stay. Kneel down on some nice bit of rockery. Max. Focus and reposition. Not bad. I'll probably put out some details in post-processing. Let's do a top down. Normally I don't do shots like this, but let's do one over him just to see, so you can see how that looks, because most people with their phones take shots just above. So that was too dark, obviously, because the ground is not as bright as the ceiling. But there you'll see that shot in the test. Okay, good boy. So now I'll take his bag off maybe and do like a, actually no, we did a shoot yesterday which went amazingly, and we'll put those photos up so you'll see those where he wasn't wearing the bag. And right now if you spin around you'll see him on the hill. Wait, wait, good boy, wait. So that might be a good shot. Hey, okay, so this would be a good advantage because he's already high. Stay. Let's see if I can get, okay, a few shots.
Okay, so I'm hoping that you found that useful. That was a shoot we did yesterday, and that one was of Max in like an old derelict place. There's a few questions we had in chat, so thank you everybody that commented during that little clip. It was a pre-recorded segment. I recorded it on like a camcorder, because when you're out and about, when you've got a wireless mic on, it can be difficult with a DSLR. So we just use a point and shoot camcorder because it's just easy to get the footage. So apologies, it wasn't the best quality. I know it didn't look great like our normal stuff does, or even compared to this, it's sharper. But yeah, it's basically giving you the idea of this is what can be done, how to shoot pet photography. All those images that we had were raw. So that means I shot them out of camera and I gave you them, just showed you them. Some were darker, some were brighter. What happens is the magic happens when you get back home and you upload the images and you can edit them and get some detail back. We have some amazing retouchers that do a lot of work with me for edit my raw, so I give them photos, they do editing for me. So I'm not really an editing person. However, hello to everybody in chat. So nice to have you on. Uber Vincent, let me just show you something. If I got it here, black goldfish. I know you asked me in the chat. There's a number of different pets people have. That's a black comet goldfish. We've got 2 of them in our aquarium, and we've had them for about 2 years now. We've got a few other fish as well. So yeah, pets count, and they are all well, different types. I just basically searched to show you an image. I have got a picture of ours, but it'll be hard to bring up, so I thought I'd show you them quickly. So thanks for joining, Vincent. And this Lightroom catalog now is the one of the second shoot you just saw. So I'll show you these images quickly and give you an example. So different types of scenarios apply. So if I show you the first two images, let me just bring up that. Ah, okay. People downvote my submissions. Interesting. I'll check it out. 1 minute. No, but I think I'm not sure I'm following the conversation, but I think it's good to have a true. Some people that just tell the truth, and I prefer that, because if something's not really good, I'll prefer you to say, oh, actually, that wasn't good, do this instead. That's good. That's constructive criticism. But if people just downvote you, that doesn't make sense. Okay, let me show you the two photos. So this one, you'll see, was exposed on the ground. This one is exposed in the ceiling. So it's a difficult balance getting between the two of them. And I basically take a shot in between, so we've got both elements. So when it comes to editing, we've got enough detail to bring back. I'll show you a quick look at some of the images that I liked, and I'm possibly going to give these ones to Edit My Raw so they can bring some more detail back. So in this one, you can see Max looks reasonably good. He's got bags on as well. And in the background, I liked the scenery, the cityscape. So I'm hoping you guys in Edit My Raw can do some magic on this for next time, and I can bring some detail back on that. If I show you what I do, which is very basic, but if I do develop and then show you a quick edit of what I would do with this. So firstly, I'll look at recovery, bring some recovery back into the sky, a little bit of fill light, bring some blacks back in, a little bit of clarity, and then I'll get a gradient filter, smash up some of the sky, and then go down a little bit to bring some detail out there. Possibly I went too far. Bit of brightness, oh, too dark, bit of contrast, bit of saturation, maybe some clarity, but that's as far as my talents go. So that would be it, probably. Max isn't as sharp, so maybe a bit more clarity, bit of vibrance. So that would be my edit, basically. Let me show you that full screen. So there. But I know you guys in Edit My Raw will do a lot more with that. I'll probably take in Photoshop and get rid of the bottle. But yeah, so that was one image that was taken. Let me show you a few others. Okay, so on the opposite side here is another one, and I think the guys in Edit My Raw will do a lot with this. So this one here, you can see is a better detail. But you're right, because of these colors, it will be hard to pull out more information. Let me just check up on the chat. Oh, okay, the goldfish is not gold. The blackfish. Yeah, I get your joke now. I'm a bit slow. It's like Max. He's a multicolored dog. Because he's got, when we groom him, it comes out grey because his undercoat is grey, but his overcoat is like black. I think we've had a few suggestions of what dog he might be, but no one's cracked it. It's quite a hard dog to figure out what breed he is. Okay, I did some here as well. If you see, let me bring up some of the ones that were good. Okay, I like this one because it's like a bit of a deserty feel, like he's kind of going through the desert. I've purposely underexposed it because I'm hoping, I've shot it in RAW and I shot it at full resolution. Normally the photos I shoot for Edit My Raw, I shoot them at half because I don't want to keep the image, but this one is all the details there, full spec, and it's shot at ISO 100, so there shouldn't be much noise in there either. So let me just give you a quick develop on this one and see what I would do. I know you guys are going to be more better, but let's see. Okay, so if I do a bit of recovery, oh, too far, a little bit of recovery in the sky, a bit more there, a bit of fill light, bring some blacks back, a bit of clarity, add some detail to the sky, and bring the exposure down a bit, brightness a little bit down, a little bit of contrast, saturation, clarity, sharpness, not much to there really. Okay, let's give it a bit more. Okay, there. So done. That would basically be me. Nothing fancy. So Uber, I know you probably won't like that. You'll be like, whoa, you could do so much there. You got me there. I know it. Shall I say it? I know it. I know the brand. Breed. Oh, okay. Give me a guess. But give me one of the breed guesses, please. Don't tell me both because there's two breeds he is. Okay, so there. You know what? There's a lot more greens that we could bring out in that as well. Let me see if I can give some. Okay, so if you come to the color section, HSL, and the greens, we give it a bit more of a bump up in the greens, bit of a bump up in the blues, yellows a bit lower because the building behind is yellow, but that looks a bit too. Do you think that looks a bit too like fake, the sky? But I like Max, he's got more detail in him. But yeah, that was basically my attempt at the edit. Okay, so that was a look at those images from the shoots I did. Let me go back here. Yes. So what we'll do now is we'll have a quick look, because I know not everybody can go out to location. Because sometimes what will happen is if you're doing pet photography, you might be able to go to the park. You might be able to go to like an old building site or an old car park or something, which should be fine. But what about if you can't? And that was what I covered in another edit my raw. So I basically gave some photos to edit my raw, and let me just check. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll look at Uber Vincent first because he was in chat, and Wolf. Ah, well done, Uber. Well done. Very close. Impressive. Okay, so now I'm going to show you. I wasn't going to do this on Edit My Raw this week. I thought I'll give it a break, but it was going to be just pet photography. But I know some people can't take photos in locations. They might just have a little garden, or they don't want to take their pet out, because not every dog is really good with other dogs or people, because depending on the breed, that can be different. So I gave some photos to Edit My Raw. They were of me and Max in the garden. So the time I'm explaining some, I'm working harder on them this week. He's got a few more here. The tones are flattened. So let me show you the images. Look at that one there. Oh, okay. So that one is basically in the garden. I'm holding Max's hand and we're looking at his paw. And that is one photo edited for us. It's got a like nice feel on it. It was wintry time, so I've got like a bigger jacket on. So he did a nice job there. They introduced 3 different colors of the same image, starting with carefully selected balanced colors for each one, which I selected before grade. The swatch of the top of my images will show what I mean by this. Okay, 1 minute. So let's open up one of these. Oh, okay, that's another one. So that's when we're training Max. I train him with treats, and he's like, I make him sit or do a trick, and he look at me like that. So that's a nice image. But I like the detail in that. Wow, nice job there, Uber. See, it's always nice to see what you can do with shots just shot in your garden, as opposed to like the fancy ones we went and did a full shoot. Let's have a look at the other one. Ah, okay, so look at the top there. You can see the colors he used. And that works quite well, you know. I like that contrast because I was wearing a blue jumper at the time. I look, you've taken 10 years off me. I look a lot younger there. I'm really old. So you made us both look younger with that color contrast. Nice job. Let me see. And one more natural one, which is here. Yes. Okay, I see what you mean by natural. He's commenting. Let me just check it. Ah, okay. So you don't sharpen you because it's best in Photoshop. Nice. Okay, that's quite a nice job, you know. 1 minute. You know what? I saw another one. Okay, that was a quick look at between them. We have a regular submitter. Juan does nice one. Let me make sure. We'll have a quick look at these. I wasn't planning to look at these, but because you guys dropped in, I think it's worth looking at them. Because this time I didn't put it on the show. Oh, okay. Juan's one there. Another Juan one. He made it a bit more dark and moody, which is a nice job, because that's what it's like in the UK. Okay, let me show you Johannes's. He does some great jobs. Look, that's like we're a very upbeat, sunny. But I like Johannes's one because if you notice the back of Max's hair, it's got a lot of detail there. So once you've taken the picture, it's not all done. If you take a picture with a DSLR camera or a more fancy camera and you take it in a raw format, that means there's more detail there. So people can later edit it and make it better if you weren't as good shooting it with the lighting, or the sun wasn't out, or it was too cloudy, or you know, those kind of things. So he made it match with my jacket. So you see there, the back of his hair and my jacket looks so beautiful. So, and he made me look better as well. He made me look younger. He kind of gave my hair a bit of a gloss. I like that. I really like that one. I'm going to keep that and probably put it as my desktop for next time. That was Johannes's edit. There was a few more in there. Thank you everybody that gave me submissions. I wasn't going to plan to look at those, so I said me and my dog. But I think because we have got some people from Edit My Raw, let me know if you'd like me to give you some more photos for next time, because I have a Lightroom catalog now. of images. Is he still there? Vincent, are you there? Do you think this image is kind of good? Or what I'll do is I'll send you a link with all of them in, and just pick out some that you think you can do some magic with, because it'll be nice to see. I know you guys will be able to do a lot more with this, especially with Max, because he's a bit darker. So see there, and I've tried to take him in like a scenery where there's loads of background, so I'm hoping you can do something with the sky, like with the background sky and stuff, because there's nice buildings there. And I didn't, because I took it with the 24-70, I zoomed in at 70, and the background's a bit blurry. But yeah, we'll see how that works out. So that was a quick look at pet photography and how you can take different capture one session. Okay. Yes, so I think that was a nice quick session to show you how to take great photos of your dog. I'm planning another session of animals. So would you like to see how to take a photograph of your cat? Or how about Vincent? What do you reckon about fish tank and aquariums? I've got an aquarium, a 4-foot aquarium. I could take photos of my fish in different ways and see if that is something interesting. Because we've got loads of fish in there. We've got like a pleco, which is like the one that goes in the glass and eats the moss. We've got dojo, which is a long snakefish, all cold water aquarium. But yeah, that's basically pets. Yep, so I'm hoping you found this video useful. It's mainly covering pet photography. You can use different cameras. So don't worry if you don't have a DSLR camera, because I know I had some comments about what cameras I'm using. But main thing is you can use your mobile phone. Take some time out, dedicate like an hour to the session and just enjoy it. If you're taking your pet out, take a few photos. Most people do it anyway because they do it for Instagram and stuff. But just visualize in your head what photo you want, have a checklist in place, take those photos, share them on social media. You can share them with us. We're on most social network sites. If you joined our session today, make sure to like this video. It's always great to see you guys coming in. And if you're subscribed, you'll get notifications of the next session. We've done 12 sessions, 12 photography live shows. How amazing is that? So thank you everybody that joined. It's always great to have you on. And I will leave you today and we'll plan another one for next week. And again, it'll be the same time, same place. So Saturday at 1 o'clock, and we'll see you on that show. I'll decide what the topic is going to be because we're getting better and better at these now.